Hi, I'm Lauren with X Factor Filmmakers, and this is week 10 of my Reluctant Filmmaker vlog.
And this slow motion video of a fish, as well as this vlog, are dedicated to a young woman from a little Himalayan country called Bhutan. Her name is, and I apologize if I butcher it, Chimmy? Chimmy, is that right? Chimmi. And she sent me the most amazing email saying that she was following the vlog and she wants to be a filmmaker. She can't afford film school yet, but she wants to go. And I'm hoping that she just picks up a camera. So go ahead and pick up a camera and do your thing. I mean, I'm filming this on my iPhone, so you can do whatever you want. And I just have to say that when I looked up your name to figure out how to pronounce it, I found a definition of a word, chimmy. Chimi, spelled a little bit differently. And it says this on Urban Dictionary: the name for a gorgeous lady who only cares to be herself and doesn't conform to the society around her. A woman who stands up for all that she believes, a girl who loves her family and friends, a female who is strong in the presence of despair, loyal in the presence of temptation, and powerful in the presence of danger. So, congratulations, Chimmy. You're a Chimmy.
I haven't talked to you guys for a little over a week with the holidays. A lot has happened, and I'm in a very serious mood right now because I just finished the 12th episode of season 1 of Serial, and I listened to the entire podcast in 36 hours, something like that. Maybe even 24 hours. I think 24 hours. Oh man. Radio is not dead. So this is what happened this past week. I went to New York City a few days before Christmas. I stayed with my really good friend Ingrid there, who just moved there. I saw a bunch of people that I know, including 2 friends who had a baby.
You don't want tequila. Oh, yeah, you do. You want that.
I visited Ashleigh and her booth selling baby clothes.
Hi, I'm here in New York City with Ashleigh, our second producer, and she is selling a ton of baby clothes for her fashion company, Punkster. What's the website?
www.niceshirtbaby.com.
Yeah.
And I don't often see her, that side of her, so that was really cool because we're always talking about film and Sweet as Her Palm and trying to make that. So seeing how she's been successful in other parts of her life was really awesome. I directed a music video. I saw one of my college best friends. I'll probably do a post about the music video, but in the meantime, here's a little preview.
Out here ready to shoot a music video. Was up at 4 in the morning, drove at 5, got to this farm at 6, and shooting with all those crazy boys down there. Woohoo!
The video was for my friend Ian McGinnis, who is the singer in a new band called Side Saddle. And I directed his first music video for this band, and this is the 4th, I believe, now. And we were working together again. It's gonna be a super fun concept. And I'll give a link to the song in the description. Cool, then Christmas happened, which was awesome. I had it with my family here in the Boston area where I grew up. And I saw my grandparents, including my badass grandma. And she sort of said to me in an email one day, "What is this word badass? What is this term I hear you describe? It doesn't sound very ladylike." And I sort of got all tense and started a little argument with her. We're not going for quote-unquote ladylike. If anything, we're going for the opposite of quote-unquote what used to be traditionally ladylike, which in my mind sounds sort of complacent and submissive. Whether or not that's right or wrong, that's my interpretation of what that means. And I'm not like that, and I don't enjoy being described like that. So I had an argument with her about this and told her what I thought it meant, which I've described before, which is badass to me is anything that is a description for anything or anyone that makes me or fans of what we're doing feel powerful in some capacity. Now, powerful is not always a positive word, of course, but it's certainly something to be explored and something that hasn't been explored from a female point of view very often in our society. And it's the thing that I'm most interested in exploring as a creator. So I said that all to her, and probably not quite as lengthy. And she emailed me back and said, well, then in that case, I consider myself a badass grandma. And now every time I see her, she says this, and I love it so much. And yeah, anyway, so I'll show you a picture of her being badass. I'll cover those items that she's wearing in the fashion portion of the video at the end. Also, look who came to the East Coast and got to meet my dad, finally. This is my mom. This is my dad and co-founder.
I do not have any money.
And this is our other co-founder, Greta.
Our first in-person meeting.
Well, them too.
Us too. Warren and I have had a lot of in-person time.
With my family, on Christmas Day, we saw Unbroken, directed by Angelina Jolie. It's not getting as great reviews as I would have assumed after watching the film. My father, my mother have read the book, and they say, and they can't put their finger on what it is, that there's something missing from Unbroken, the film, and they really can't say what it is. Me not having read the book didn't cross my mind. And some people said it sort of painted him as a martyr and like he was a perfect person and all of this. And I just say, whoever's watching a film based on real life and you're watching a small portion of something that happens in less than 3 hours of someone's life, you're not seeing it from like the moment they're born to the moment they die. You don't know everything about that person. And this story is an actor's version of a script's version of a book. There's no way that you're going to fully get somebody's entire personality, right? You have to take a movie for what it is. But to be completely honest, I couldn't give a crap less about whether or not Angelina Jolie's directing of this film was perfect or whatever else you want to describe it as. I say, who cares? She was really passionate about this man, this book, this story, and she was very drawn to it. And she made this movie, and I experienced it and felt a lot. So if you go to this movie and you're not a movie crier, you might end up actually crying at this movie. It's a good film, and I don't think that the critics are completely accurate in the general reviews that I've been seeing. That was a really long way of saying that critics frustrate me. Just go for yourself. I mean, if it looks like something you might enjoy, go see it. If the interview looks like something you might enjoy, go see it. Nobody else should be able to tell you whether or not, you're gonna like it or not. So anyway, that's that. I've been watching lots of Parks and Rec because of my boyfriend Corey, he and I generally, after a day of work or something, will watch a bunch of what we call silly shows, which are just really things that help us escape whatever that is. And I never really realized how great that show is. And I think I jumped in a little bit later, or I watched the beginning and then I jumped in later, and I didn't quite know all of the characters, but that show really works well because it's like one long inside joke. So as soon as you know any of the characters, you are just like right alongside every single joke because it's all character-based jokes pretty much. A little bit political, but it's really just in service of the characters and who they are. So yeah, I've been watching that, and like I said, Serial, which I'll get to at the end. Let's talk about Serial. I can't even fully wrap my head around this, but in a good way. One case in Baltimore, Maryland, that happened 15 years ago, that's being re-looked into by a reporter from This American Life, NPR's This American Life. Please go check it out. You'll probably become hooked. I know this is a thing. You've probably seen it online. If you haven't seen it, you're like, what is this? But it truly is mind-bending, and I think that it's probably the best, that's not the right word, it's probably the most in-depth portrayal of humans and their psychology. I watch a lot of crime dramas, thrillers, things that involve some kind of investigation, some kind of murder or a crime of some kind. That's my favorite kind of television. I can watch that all day, every day. Especially like the more real it gets, the darker it gets, the more I like it. I mean, the thing about serial that's totally different than watching a show or even reading a novel is it's the most first person you're gonna get being an outsider in this experience, because it's a true reporting story that you're getting from that reporter, and you're also hearing first person interviews with tons of different people, including the guy convicted of the murder in the first place. So there's just so many things that you learn about how the reporter, Sarah, sees Adnan, the guy who was convicted of this murder, and everybody who's involved in putting him there, including his lawyer, the key witness, who's questionable at best. Unfortunately, we don't get interviews with the main investigators of the crime, and we don't get interviews with the victims' parents, which both would have been extremely influential, probably eye-opening in a lot of different ways. But they got a lot of interviews, and you hear all these. I've never heard so many perspectives on one event. It makes me think that I really don't know anything about humans and that this is probably why we like books and television and radio stories like this so much, and that we keep consuming, is because we don't understand ourselves that much. We only know how we think, right? Like, I understand how I think, and I don't even completely understand how I think. I certainly don't completely understand how my dad or my mom or my boyfriend or my brother think, or even my friends, right? And those are the people you understand the most. Now imagine that one of them does something or is accused of doing something that you just could have never imagined them doing, or you're accused yourself of doing something. Or go one step further and say, I actually went and did something awful to somebody. What would make me do that? Am I capable of doing that? And it was really cool to hear Sarah's perspective on that. I mean, we get to know a lot about her, probably first and foremost, more than anybody else in the story, as she's trying to understand other people. The other thing that it really helped me do, actually, was help me understand my main character better, because she's somebody who is a moral human being, which from the outside, everybody would pretty much say Adnan was, or is, even still in jail. Yet, if he did do it, which again, I'm just not even remotely convinced that he did, then he snapped, or he doesn't remember, or both. And I realized that I very much understood that, you know, maybe feeling like you're capable of doing something, but not ever thinking that you would. And then not knowing how to react afterwards, maybe to the point that you're in so much shock that you block it out and you can't recall something or create an alibi for yourself because you can't remember anything. So there were elements in there that I said, my 16-year-old character who is on her own, going through everything she's already going through, and then boom, snapping for reasons I'm not going to give away right now. Yeah, I can see that happening to her. I can see her being confused about whether or not she did something, or confused about why she did something, maybe more specifically in this case. Committing that act and then starting to cover things up starts to make you go down this spiral of not being a moral person anymore. But in her heart of hearts, she thinks that she is, and she needs to get back to that. I guess Serial is just, it's unlike anything I've ever listened to or watched or read before. It was easy. It was easy to start to relate to pretty much everybody. No matter if they were, you know, proven to have lied at some point, or shoplifted, or smoked weed and had sex at a young age. There was just so much to relate to because everybody's human, right? I don't know. It was really interesting, and I very much encourage you to check it out. Ugh, I'm tired just having talked about that. Okay. Last thing is fashion time. Okay. Oozing like fast. This is fashion time. These are some things I got, well, I don't know, I'm not impressed with this outfit because I'm just comfy right now, but this is my boyfriend's shirt. He is 6'4", and he was throwing it out, so I decided to cut the sleeve so that it would fit me. This is from H&M, got a little while ago. These pants, don't remember, they're very old. These slippers have an actual sole with some traction, so I can go outside and get some milk and Oreos across the street without taking my slippers off. Which is so incredibly lazy. These glasses are from Nasty Gal, and again, they're from my friend Amanda. And if you recognize them from an image with my badass grandma, you'd be correct. As well as this hat, also from Nasty Gal, gifted from Corey's lovely and also badass mother. Another amazing gift from Amanda. I've already worn it twice since Christmas. And this is actually really funny because I've never had a pet before. And it's not like I don't like dogs, but having a pet is like still kind of a confusing, elusive concept to me. I'm sure if I had one, I would just fall in love with it, which is probably one reason why I can't get one, because I'd probably not be able to leave it in the house by itself. But anyway, I love this. She told me, is it weird that when I saw this, I thought of you? And I said, yes, but I love it. And that concludes fashion time with Lauren. Anyway, you should subscribe on YouTube and or sign up for our email newsletter at xfactorfilm.com, where at least once a week, every Friday, we send you guys stuff, including suggestions of what to watch. That's it. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Oh, also, pardon this room. I'm starting to make it over into an office / guest room, and I'm having way too much fun. These closet doors are going to be covered in whiteboard paint, so that's what I decided to do, which I'm probably most excited about in this whole room. Anyway, so you'll see it when it's done.